Generous putting in work. Generous putting in actual work. Game 1 against Livingston. How about that? Whose Generous will win? The one with double strike or the one without? That's the question. Generous holding the fort and then attacking for lethal. How about that? How about that? Oh, hey, hey, hey. Ding, ding, ding. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's been a few people on Twitter that have been kind of going back and forth on the card Generous Int. Let me pull my cursor over here. So for those of you not aware, Generous Int is a 6-mana 5/7 with reach that enters the battlefield, makes a food token, but most importantly, it has Force Cycling 1, not an ability that you would usually expect to be particularly good, but in this particular case, not only is Generous Int serving as a mana fixer, since we can search for our breeding pool as a forest to allow us to cast our Spell Pierces from the sideboard, a card that I've been a pretty big fan of in the past, at least before the One Ring. I don't know if I still like Spell Pierce, but we'll find out. But it also gives us not only 4 additional main board threats that have reach and survive Unholy Heat against the Unholy Heat decks like Murktide, we also have a main board way to search for Basic Forest. So we might as well be playing 8 copies of Basic Forest in the deck. A little bit of flood insurance in the case that we draw too many lands, we can just hard cast it. But otherwise, we're planning on getting a forest with this one. And I don't know how exactly I feel about it, but last time I played it in a league, I thought that it had potential. So I think that's what we're going to run with today. I could see maybe trimming some of the numbers. Also, one thing that I'm doing that's interesting besides all of that is, in the past I've been a big fan of 4 mainboard One Rings, and I still think probably playing the ring is better than playing something like Karn to try to stop opposing rings and like having one to search for in the sideboard. Like, at 8 mana, the ring is actually still good, believe it or not, but it's a little more hard to get to. So, and it relies on you being able to cast your Karn and cast your ring. And instead of doing all that, we're just playing a couple rings. But because everybody's playing a ring hate like Shieldred and Orcish Bowmasters and that sort of thing, exile effects, the One Ring is a little less reliable, and we are just playing it basically as a extra card advantage engine, an extra threat. So we are trimming 1 copy and moving it to the sideboard, as we still want this against the grindy, like Murktide and scam matchups in particular. Basically any deck playing Thoughtseize or any deck that we need additional threats to try to play through their counter magic, we want the ring. It's like basically Tireless Tracker on steroids. So any matchup where you would want Tireless Tracker, you basically also want the ring. So instead of playing something like Tireless Tracker, we are just playing the ring, and it's good enough to be mainboarding, in my opinion. No Colossus. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Colossus for a number of reasons, but I think that instead of doing Colossus things in the sideboard for the 4-color matchup, I'm going with Oblivion Stone, as it also answers Elesh Norn, and I think that being able to beat Elesh Norn is very important. Colossus is one way to go over the top of 4-color, but Oblivion Stone also kind of does that. And then the second thing is, Colossus is just real bad in a lot of situations. I find Colossus, I mean, it does work well with the ring, to be fair. Like, when you draw a bunch of cards and you have a bunch of extra lands, Colossusing in all those lands can be very good. But we already have extra threats in the form of the One Ring and Generous Int, so we don't really need to worry as much about, like, Necromancer type effects. And I've never been a big fan of Colossus. I always think it's really dead in a lot of the matchups that we might face. For example, it's hard to cast through Blood Moon. It's 7 mana. It requires us to have excess resources, which maybe is more likely now that we're playing the One Ring, but it's like particularly bad against Thoughtseize decks. Colossus is bad against Stress Down, which a lot of the blue decks are playing. There's like a million reasons why I don't like Colossus, to be honest, and I've never been a big fan, so I am shaving Colossus as one of the things that we're cutting to make room for Generous Int. Also, Bailey mentioned playing Academy Ruins and Mindslaver, which is something we could definitely do. It's kind of more on the meme side than it is good, I think, but it's an interesting option, and I do think Mindslaver is somewhat playable in the sideboard, so might as well give it a test shot since we can recur Expedition Map, the One Ring, and Oblivion Stone as well, so kind of just a little bit of value there. Question is, what am I cutting? I think the card that I believe is weakest at the moment is Mycosynth Gardens. I am playing a couple in the sideboard, I should mention, just because it allows us to board out Sagas and then board in another land that helps us play around Hate for Amulet that also gives us redundant extra copies of Amulet. So I like playing a couple in the sideboard just as a thought experiment. We need to cut 2 cards, one for the Mindslaver and one for the land we just added. Could just cut the Cavern, I think, and then I think probably cutting 1 O-Stone for the Mindslaver is where I'm at. Hopefully we get to Mindslaver somebody. But yeah, I think that's about where I'm at for the list. I'm going to go ahead and export it to Stream Decker, and then we can get started. Magic Online giving me the information that leagues start automatically instead of having to click join in. This is information I've known for a while, so I am joined in, but my computer does not want to allow me to open the loading or something. I don't know exactly what this is. Oh, maybe. Not the best way to start out here, but we got there. Okay, on the play too. I will take it. All right, we got a Saga Amulet hand. We got literally everything we need. Dryad Titan. I mean, if I'm never mulliganing this. If I ever mulligan this, tell me to quit Amulet entirely. For those of you who don't know, by the way, Vinny is also known as Mistaken. You may know him from Twitter. He is another Amulet goat, if I dare say so, better than myself. But always very great to have Mistaken in the chat here. And if you're not subscribed, he recently made a YouTube, so go subscribe to Vinny's channel as well. Playing its Inspiring Vantage Mistress Bauble. Could be Burn. Oh, Crack the Earth. Huh, that's interesting. I mean, we could be playing its Blood Moon, but I feel like keeping the land is going to be better. I'm just going to assume our Saga is going to live here. Was not expecting turn 1 Crack the Earth when I joined in this league. Got to be honest here. And definitely not playing Selesnya Sanctuary into another potential Crack the Earth, so we'll just we'll chill. Crack the Earth. Oh, our opponent's on a Saga deck too. I guess that makes sense. Hey, we got the ring. Baby. All right, let's get this Amulet. Go ahead, play double Dryad into Expedition Map, I suppose. I have not organized the stack on this before. Okay, here we go. While we have one Amulet, we can yield, so I'm going to do that to save me some time. Although this particular setup happens to run pretty lickety-split, so maybe it's not necessary here, but save time wherever you can, you know? Not leaving bounce line in play. That would be some crazy talk. Although I suppose after we play map, it might be fine. Mana Tithe? They didn't hit the first Dryad? Oh, I guess they couldn't because I had 1 mana up, right? Well, I mean, I guess I'm glad they're Mana Tithing this instead of something that matters. Classic Magic Online making me click no. Dude, we got Crack the Earth on turn 1, and our opponent cast a Mana Tithe. And it countered our thing. I can't say I'm particularly unhappy about that. If anything, I'm enjoying this. If they crack the Earth, I will sacrifice this forest so fast. Our opponent has not yet applied pressure to us. I have a feeling like they might struggle beating a 1-ring as well. Exactly. Opponent is helping me make this content. This is exactly what we want. Oh, dude. That's actively good for me. That's actively really good for me. Interesting. I will take it. We will get a ring into play, swing for 2, and our opponent will take their turn. We're gonna yield to this and then draw immediately because what do you take me for? Give me my extra card right now. Oh wait, there we go. Mistress Bauble. Crack the Earth again. Honestly, if they crack the Earth again, I'll probably just sacrifice the 1-ring. Very powerful, but these 2 cards are much more powerful than the 1-ring, you know? Our opponent put themselves at 1 land in play here. I don't know how I feel about that. Hey, that's Titan. I guess we could get Mana Tithe. Let's go ahead and draw some cards real quick. I do like doing that. Okay. I mean, we could always just, like, not. We weren't under no pressure, so let's just grazer out a land into play here. Actually, if we're in the business of playing around Mana Tithe anyways, let's just go ahead and do it this way so we can not get our Grazer Mana Tithe. What if they had Land Ragavan? We'll just take it slow. Our opponent's not pressuring us at all, so I'm pretty cool with this outcome. Although, I guess we have to pick up the Slayers, which is kind of annoying. We can float red here, though. We can get absolute value and haste a Grazer. You see what I'm saying? This is important. Straight up, this is actually high priority things happening. Okay, we win, guys. Wow, see, look, this deck is busted. Oh, that does not look great. Okay, dude, all the cards are so small. I'm not used to this. Maybe I should increase the size of them, actually. That's a thing I can do. Yes, that's better. Although the sort is not by mana value. Dude, no. Okay, that's a little too big, to be honest. Okay, what do we want against this? I'm assuming they have Ragavans and, like, maybe DRCs. So Dismember feels good. Endurance is kind of interesting. I don't think I care for Endurance if they have specifically DRC, but they could have, like, DRC or Underworld Breach. I don't know if it matters that much. I guess Endurance also blocks Ragavan, and it's something we can cast if we're getting Crack the Earth into nothing. The 1-ring looks great here. Our opponent's on a Saga deck, so I'm not really expecting them necessarily to have Blood Moon. That said, I still like Mycosynth Gardens against them. It helps us play around, like, Wear and Tear type effects. Oh wait, I meant to move these over with the other Mycosynths. So we'll make this a very clean swap. Druka Bog is kind of interesting. They could be playing Unholy Heat. Do I care about that? We'll just beat them down with Generous Ints. That'll be the plan against Unholy Heat. Okay, we definitely want to trim Summoner's Packs because we could just die to these if we get our lands unexpectedly destroyed. They're playing Boom Bust as well, I just recalled. So, I mean, we definitely still want our Sagas. It'll be awkward if they have Alpine Moon, I guess. I don't necessarily expect map to actually work. Like, I would be happy if our Saga pops off, but I feel like I'm not feeling it. And I'm also not feeling the Academy Runes lock here. We'll just have 4 1-rings and just draw them because we're good at this game. And then I guess we don't actually need the breeding pool here because we're not bringing in blue. So we'll have 1 less hit for Generous Int, but that's okay. The 4th Generous Int, I hope we're casting them by the time that we get a 4th Generous Int in hand. So We cut 2 of these and we drew 2 of these, so all is equal in the universe, I suppose. Also, I just realized I can't actually see the chat from my opponent. Okay, there we go. We don't have to Saga on 1, but I feel like it is good. But if our opponent just boom busts, that is bad. Are we supposed to mulligan to find a hand with less Summoner's Pact? Or like a bounce land or an amulet? I think this is a safe mulligan. It's a little greedy, because we have the things that we need, but I mean, we don't have turn 1 Grazer. We have turn 2 Grazer off of Mycosynth. So that if our opponent goes turn 1 Ragavan, we're not just absolutely cold to it, but we're also on the draw anyways. This is a questionable one. You have no green sources other than Mycosynth Gardens. Kind of feel like if we got this 5 on a mulligan, or even this 6, we'd probably have to keep. But I do think an average 6 might be better. This is a really difficult one. I guess I'm going to keep for science, because I think it's probably good enough, but I wouldn't fault anybody for mulliganing that. Blackleaf Cliffs. They're playing black. They do have the Ragavan. All right, Basic Forest. Basic Forest. Basic Forest. And not Jittersent. Okay, that's not Basic Forest, but that's all right. Guess we're playing T-West here, so we can Grazer in Saga. And if our opponent boom busts us, then we don't get blown out. Ragavan is the issue, is it not? It's always the issue. Here if our opponent is playing Blood Moon and there is a Saga deck, it's always a possibility. I guess they can just boom bust and sacrifice their treasure token. That's kind of lit. DRC as suspected. I think I brought in the endurances, if my memory does serve me correctly. Yep, endurances in deck. Oh, what about the Bog? I guess Bog is good against DRC. No Bog. That's right, we'll deal. I was not expecting their Boom Bust and Crack the Earth deck to also be splashing black. That seems a little greedy, but who am I to say? Speaking of greedy, we did keep this hand, and we're going to continue with the greediness by putting in Urza Saga into play. And it's actually shaping up pretty well, all things considered. Mana Tithe! Okay, I guess I deserve that one. Oh, don't mind me just not clicking no. I hit 6 and I was like, it'll just do the thing. It did not. Man, that's actually really bad, because we needed the Saga and play pronto. No! They can cast it! No! The game is slipping away. Maybe should have been a mulligan, I don't know. I wasn't playing around the Mana Tithe by keeping that hand, that's for sure. They do, of course, cast the One Ring. I mean, this will give them infinite cards to just continue to destroy all of our lands. So it's not good. Definitely not good. I mean, I think we still have to play Saga and pass though, and just hope for the best. No wear and tear, no nothing. And as predicted, these Summoner's Packs are rotting in hand. Okay, you know what? I'm off this one. You got me, opponent. You had your fun. Now it's time to come back strong on the play. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna like snap react and be like, oh, 2 Summoner's Packs is too much because we drew both of them and they were bad. Like, we need packs to be able to T-West for, potentially, although maybe they're not really in the business of killing our Titans, to be honest, but I feel like having 2 packs is probably a safe bet. We did see DRC. Maybe we want Bog. I don't hate Bog. I can see a situation where we cast a Titan and need to fetch Bog to not be dead to their swingbacks with DRC. I'm not a huge fan of Int in this matchup either. We could probably be shaving Ints, because they're really there to play around Unholy Heats and Blood Moons and stuff, and playing around Unholy Heat should be fine, and I don't expect our opponent to be playing Blood Moons. Maybe we should be cutting these as well, and then we'll keep the map, and I guess an extra land, the Beseiju. I'm a little scared of the legendary on that Beseiju, but hopefully it will not bite us. We have turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Dryad, turn 3 Titan. We do keep those. Oh wait, we don't have the turn 1 Amulet. That's right. We'll have to be a turn delayed. That's fine. Or we'll just top deck Grazer and everything will be perfect. Just saying, we could just top deck Grazer. Still a keepable hand regardless. Valakut. Our opponent is holding up Mana Tithe, however you want to say it. Do we play into it or play around it? If we go Valakut and the next turn play Amulet, Bounce Land, Dryad, and that gets Mana Tithe, then that sets us up to have One Ring the turn after, which isn't that bad. We also don't have anything to do on turn 3 otherwise, so I think I would just want to play Valakut and pass here, to be honest. Also, playing our Amulet now plays into them just like having Smash to Smithereens or something, or a Tear, a wear on their turn, or a Prismatic Ending or something. So just hold on to this Amulet for as long as we deem necessary. If we draw an untapped source, probably, I don't know if I would rather have an Amulet in play or a Dryad, to be honest. Kind of an interesting option, but we have to get there to make that decision first. Flagstones, Boom Bust. Yep, they kill the Valakut. Makes sense. Both are good options here. I think Valakut probably is the best one. Fun showing us black again. Still not sure what the black is for, to be completely honest. Ooh, Mycosynth is very nice. If we're playing around Crack the Earth, we don't play out a bounce land this turn. So I guess we're going Mycosynth, and then I think we have to play Amulet now, just so they can't Boom Bust us again. I'm gonna play the Amulet. If they kill it, then we'll top deck a Basic Forest. It is that simple. Kind of feel like we don't have the time anymore to try to play around things by holding Amulet. I could be wrong on that. Opponent tapped out a red. They do have Prismatic Ending. Okay. Well, it's not shaping up, but our opponent doesn't have a super fast clock. They do have 1 DRC. Goodbye, Amulet of Vigor. Urza Saga. That's very close, but it's also not quite there. We play Saga, then 2 turns from now we're doing something, or we could play Gruul Turf, pick up Mycosynth, and play Saga Dryad into, I guess, like Bounce Land, and have a guaranteed 1 ring in 2 turns, and play around Manatee. We could also just be on the Construct plan, I guess. I don't like the Construct plan as much against their Channeler, though. I think we're going Growth Chamber, pick up Gardens, and then turn after playing Dryad. I think that's the play. Also, Saga plays into Wear and Tear, which they could potentially still have, because Tear as 1 mana hits both Saga and Dryad, so they would probably use Wear and Tear as opposed to... they would probably use Prismatic Ending as opposed to Wear and Tear if they did have it. They Thoughtseize. Okay, well, I guess we're playing the 1 ring this upcoming turn, unless they take that, I suppose. It's between Dryad and 1 ring. I don't think taking Summoner's Pact makes any sense here, at least not personally. And now we know what they're splashing black for, I suppose. So that's good. Are they on the Saga Beats plan here? Is that what we got going on? Very lucky they haven't had a Ragavan yet, by the way. Crack the Earth. I was anticipating this. We'll just sack the Talaria West. That's why I felt safe playing out a Bounce Land in the first place. I suppose we're not great against the second Crack the Earth, but I mean, if they had Thoughtseize into double Crack the Earth, I don't know what to say. Keep the Saga. Interesting. I wonder what they're planning on searching for with this Saga. No! What is happening? I guess they sacked the Saga now. I mean, we still only are getting clocked by a 1/1 here, so like it's not even close to over, but like this is the worst possible thing that could have happened. Okay, Amulet off the top, Generous Int. That is a card, I suppose. Yeah, we're still on the not playing around anything plan here, so we'll just play into our opponent top decking Wear and Tear or something like that. If they continue to have it all, that's, that can happen. Ragavan. All right, let's just heal until end step, I suppose. Yep. Now them having the Ragavan is quite annoying. I think we're getting basic forced here with our int. I think we have no choice. Heal to this, or we'll click OK. Also, that's fine too. And I guess we don't have to do the int right now. I feel like it's going to be correct. I don't see a world where we're really realistically casting this, so we'll just get our basic forest Amulet. That's one of the things that we were looking for. Question is, do we even play it? I think we do, because then we'll still be able to get double Amulet into play, unless they have exactly Wear Tear. What's the odds that they have exactly Wear Tear in hand and didn't hit our Saga? Like, they could top deck exactly Wear Tear, and we just lose. But again, I still think I'm in the business of just jamming. They are probably holding up a fairly dead Manatee. So somebody say in the comments how I'm supposed to pronounce that, because I don't actually know what the pronunciation for that word is. Bolt, okay? It's very annoying that when I click this, it puts the decision off to the left, because I'm used to it being on the right. So I'm like, doom, and I move over here and it's not there. Passing to our opponent. I have a 3/3 DRC. So I guess we're not getting Wear and Teared. Or if we are, we're not getting quite as blown out by it. We just have Titan this upcoming turn? Yeah, if they do nothing, we just have Titan this upcoming turn. So we might still, after all of this, just, Titan and kill them. Dash Ragavan. No! Stop drawing good cards, opponent. I don't even like that you put good cards in your deck. Does it matter, though? We can put the 1 ring into play this upcoming turn, but also not make any mana progress. That would require us to top deck something good off of the 1 ring. I guess we could also leave the Bounce Land in play and pick up Mycosynth, especially since we drew Vesuva. Kind of interesting. We don't actually have to copy Amulet here, though we have the option. Like, just Bounce Land, float 4, pick up Mycosynth, play the 1 ring, and then the turn after. I mean, we're still missing a lot of pieces there, although we can't take any damage here. We get to draw off the 1 ring. That also leaves us cold to them having interaction for our Amulet. Whereas if we copy and then play Bounce Land, then any ramp spell that is not Dryad or like Dryad, double Dryad is an option that we could draw from our 3 1 ring cards, or any single ramp spell or Titan gets us there. So I feel like I'm pretty safe just copying here, because it plays around removal and gives us opportunities. Hit 5, so I'm not yielding to the Amulet triggers, as I have been known to do in the past. I think doing this to play around the removal on our Amulet is going to be best. 1 ring looking quite good here, not going to lie. We'll go ahead and draw, pass to our opponent. Still have 2 draws from the ring and 1 draw for turn to hit the ramp spell that we're looking for. And they have to attack with the DRC, even though the 1 ring is a thing. That's kind of funny. Haven't actually run into this before, interestingly enough. All right, a miss. We'll draw 2. Well, we found a 1 ring and Endurance. I mean, Endurance just stops their entire aggression, right? We can take 2 down to 7. I guess they can't even have double bolt. No matter what we do, we're not going to be able to get to Titan this upcoming turn without a ramp spell. Like, kind of just want to play Endurance. We could also just 1 ring again. That gives us 1 extra card here to guarantee that we have Titan this upcoming turn, unless they remove our Amulet, in which case we're in worse shape, because it'll be harder to cast Endurance and we'll basically have nothing in play to do. I feel like Endurance here is better. It also stops them from having, well, I guess we could always Endurance at instant speed by pitching Pact if we needed to. Like if they had like Underworld Breach or something, which I'm not really expecting, but it is technically possible. Right, I'm gonna play the 1 ring, I think, Although, if we play the One Ring, we have to sack the old one. This is going to draw us 3, but we draw... Oh, well, we draw 3 from the new ring anyways and take 1 less damage. I'm just going to play the ring. We want to keep the new one, and we'll just go ahead and draw. We found a Titan. That's good. So we now have guaranteed Titan this upcoming turn, assuming nothing goes horribly awry. Probably just pitching excess bounce land here. See, I hear what you're saying, All for Last, that I said it correctly the first time. However, the issue is I don't know which way I said it the first time. So you're going to have to, like... You're going to have to, like, write it like this, you know? Like this. Or like this. Is it teeth or tithe? That's what I need to know. Tithe. Okay. I've got the confirmation. I'll be saying it mana tithe from now on. Also, I guess we were just completely playing into mana tithe there when we just jammed the ring, huh? It's okay. They never had it. It was never a reality, you know? Or as a saga. Sounds good. Force attack, let's go. That's a bad attack. That's 1 more point of damage they'll be taking from trample when we get this bad boy into play. I think we maybe actively don't even want to use our ring here because we might draw an important land. So let's actually not do this. We can play around a mana tithe here by pacting for Grazer, and then we'll just kill him. I guess they could have Path. So 1 last card could be Path. Is there a way for us to play around that? We have 3 floating. Titan makes 6. So we could put another Titan into play to play around Path, but then we're playing into Tithe again. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. We have a Grazer in play to block. Let's do this, I suppose. Actually, hold on. We might be able to set up the ability to cast Endurance. I don't know. At this point, I'm kind of just waffling. Our opponent has 1 card. They're probably just dead. Let's see. If we get... Mycos and Slayers doesn't really do anything. Yeah, we're just going to go for the haste here, I think. If everything goes completely south, we will have a green floating and... No, I mean, they can do it in beginning combat. We'll at least have a Crazy Boy in play. Oh, but we don't get to double strike here. Oh, wait. No, we do. We do, because I don't have to activate the second time for lethal, so we're Gucci. We'll pick this up, I guess. Do I activate the One Ring to see if we can cast Endurance for value and risk drawing exactly Sunhome in 35 cards out of 2 draw? I'm gonna risk it. Risk it. we drew the Sunhome. Let's go. I guess we can pact for like Dryad, play Dryad into Sunhome attack. We might lose to our own pact then if we did that. We did already pact once though. Oh, we pacted once, so we have to pay for this. Okay, well, at max punished, I guess. We'll just go to combat and attack. Somebody's got to calculate the odds of drawing the Sunhome. So now we just want to be not dead to our pact trigger. So I guess we're going... Ooh, I don't know if there's a way for us to play around Crack the Earth here. I guess it's just got to be double forest. Maybe it was not worth the risk here. It's all right. We'll just do it this way. Probably can't lose from here, but it is... No, Crack the Earth... No, we lose to exactly Boom Bust is what it is. Cast this one, target them, and might as well cast this one too, I suppose. All right, if our opponent has Boom Bust, then we bust, but that's all right. I got too tempted by the ring, you know? That is what the ring does. Do not Boom Bust me, bro. You just don't want to do it. You never want to Boom Bust here. You don't want to do it. No! No! Oh my gosh. What are the odds, dude? I should have known this was gonna happen. I should have known this was gonna happen, you know? Oh my gosh. Alright. I don't think there's anything we can draw here that saves us. Classic. Can't besage our own land, sadly. Yeah. Sounds good. Whew. That was great. That was amazing. Well, that means that we are now 0-1. Look, I'm sorry. Sometimes you just gotta take the value while you have it, you know? I guess we were supposed to pact for Grazer and put in the Sunhome, or pact for Dryad and put in the Sunhome, and just accept we lose to Path there. It's the ring, what can I say? We were either losing to Path or Boom Bust no matter what we did, I think. I guess not, yeah, I think we were dead to Path there no matter what we did. I mean, this might just be a land right here, but I feel like this is a keep. I'll keep this. Turn 1 Grazer into turn 2 Dryad. Potentially getting either to cast Dinner Scent or cycle it for a forest. We'll see. Botanical Sanctum. Ooh, is this Living End? Humina's Speaker. That does not look like Living End. That does not look like Living End. All right, let's go ahead and get this Grazer into play. Bada bing. Bada boom. Pick that up. This will be an interesting game 1 without Amulet access here. Honestly, I got excited when I saw Botanical Sanctum because I was like, we can cycle some Generous Scents for value. Don't know that Generous Scent is really the move here. Tide Shaper kind of destroying us. That's all right. You want to attack? I didn't think so. Heard you wouldn't. Well, we're gonna have an extra land drop to play after Dryad no matter what we do. I guess we want to play Map here instead of Cycle Int. And then we'll play Simic, pick this up, and see if they have another Tide Shaper. You know, I just realized I'd never actually posted to Twitter that I was going live on YouTube. So I guess this one's just for the YouTube folk. Take that, Twitter followers. That's why you gotta follow me on both. We will block that one. I guess they could flash and kill our Grazer. Actually, guaranteeing we're gonna get at least one more block out of our Grazer seems kind of nice. So, oh, they're just passing with 3 mana. Interesting. Is there any counterspell we realistically want to play around here? Probably just have a Flash Merfolk, like a Hex Catcher, is the one I was thinking about there. Why I made that block. I think I'm just gonna play Slayers into Dryad. I don't think there's a point in playing around counterspell. They probably just have subtlety, if anything. Cool. And I guess we want to set up land drop into land drop so we can just hard cast like a Generous Int or maybe even a Primeval Titan. Pick that one up, pass it to our opponent. 0 attacks. None whatsoever. Trickster. That is fine. I mean, we do have islands now, so if our opponent has a Lord, we could be taking quite some damage, but no Lord, potentially. This time we're going to take our full 3 damage worth of blocks. Not that we really have another choice, but definitely not just taking 2 for no reason. And they don't have it. Okay. I mean, they didn't flash in Hexcatcher on my Incept there, so I guess I'm not that surprised. I mean, we could pack for Titan here. They would have to have exactly Subtlety blue card to punish us. These all have Ward 1, so we can't actually kill their creatures. We would have to send... Oh, this is Indestructible as well. So it doesn't necessarily do anything. I mean, it's probably better than just casting a Generous Int for no reason, though, right? I don't think there's a way we lose to our pact here. I guess they could have exactly double Tideshaper plus a blue land off the top or something. So I'm not playing around that, I don't think. I mean, we could also just be ultra safe and cast the One Ring here. That doesn't seem that great, to be honest. I mean, it is very safe to do, though. I guess they could have... They can't even have Spell Pierce because... I mean, playing the One Ring here is... Actually, it plays into them top decking Subtlety, though, I suppose. But this allows us to guarantee we have a kill with Valcut this upcoming turn. Weird. I really don't know what to do in this situation. I guess guaranteeing we're not just going to die randomly to, like, double Tideshaper is going to be better than nothing, and this plays around Subtlety in a way that I think is kind of nice. Force. Pitching Force. Noted. Okay, well, I guess we're passing. Probably not in huge fear of dying here, but, I mean, I guess if they have exactly Lord... I wasn't thinking about Force of Negation. Maybe should have been. I mean, if we cast Pact against Force, then we cast Ring. We still have top deck Titan, but it's probably fine. Waterlogged Grove. They can still draw Lord. This means they probably can't Mutavault us, though. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Even if they did find Lord here, we were not dead. Just attacking with this, huh? I mean... I'll take the block. I don't see why I wouldn't. And we'll just play Titan and kill our opponent. 2-minute Speaker. Yeah, I think they're just dead. Cool. All right. Primeval Titan. We'll make our giant uncounterable because we can. And then just double Valcut plus a land drop. I guess it would have to be Valcut Vesuva plus land drop. We get 1, 2, 3, 4 by playing this, copying Valcut. 5, 6 is 18. We have not made any land drops this turn. Not quite lethal either here. Interesting. I guess. We're going to go... We need to kill their creatures instead, I suppose. Let me make sure I'm not punting here. So, Valcut Vesuva is 1, 2, copy, bounce, and pick it up. Play it again, that's 3, 4, 5, 6 is too short. Interesting. Okay. Well, we can kill one creature here then. Playing the Forest first would have been better sequencing. Still get double Valcut, I think. They themselves do not have Ward 1, so use Int for lethal. Oh, that's right, because we can get a land. It's a little late for that, unfortunately. I forgot that I could just cycle this. Oops. Well, this should work anyways. Like, we do... Another 2, and then... No, we can still do it. We can still do it. We can still do it. We're good. We're good. Int for lethal. What a line. What a line. We'll get the breeding pool into play, just because we can. Thank you for saving me. Oh my gosh, I totally neglected that. It's not something I'm used to having access to. Okay, so Merfolk, we're going to want these Dismembers. Going to want these Mycosynths, probably. Boseiju against Chalice and Cavern seems... Not Chalice and Cavern. Chalice and Vial seems good. But speaking of Chalice, we can cut 1 Summoner's Pact. Int doesn't seem that great here, because a lot of times we can't block through Island Walk anyways, and the basic Force don't matter. I don't like Spell Pierce, and we don't need the Breeding Pool therefore, and One Ring is great. Oblivion Stone is kind of interesting, but I feel like it's too slow. I think I'm just running it like this. And we got to be playing around Subtlety. Whew. Hand's not doing it. Definitely a mulligan. Opponent kept 7. Definitely a keep. Could be right to be trimming Urza Saga in this matchup. You can go turn 1 Mycosynth Amulet, turn 2 Valcut, copy it, turn 3 combo, and not even have to use the Saga, which is bad against their Tideshaper effect. So I'm going to do that, and then maybe consider trimming them in game 2, because they definitely have the 1 mana one, but they might have Spreading Seats as well. So Mina Speaker, I'm listening. Another Titan means that we have turn 3 double Titan, so that's cool. Oh wait, if we draw another ramp spell, we might have the turn 2, because we go bounce land, copy Amulet, Grazer, bounce land 4. 1 ramp spell would actually have been turn 2 lethal here with double Titan, but it's okay. We don't need that kind of luck here. We have Generous Int for lethal. We'll do it the hard way. Do we just copy now? I don't see a reason not to. I'm just gonna go for it, and we'll just Titan them next turn. They could have Subtlety. Hexcatcher. I mean, I'm definitely casting here. No way I'm... Oh, we might be able to cast Double Titan the hard way here. I have not done the mana calculations, but that's because there's simply no point. No! Never mind. I hit 5 to cancel the yield, and it didn't do it. It did not do it. So now we're... I mean, it's fine. Maybe we didn't have enough mana to Double Titan anyways. Scuffed first league here. I'm telling you, I pressed the button 5 like 3 times, and it did not actually do anything. It's all right. Definitely picking up Sanctuary here. If our opponent has Subtlety, they do. See, another Grazer would have... another 2 mana would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 short, so didn't actually matter. Do we put this on top or bottom? I guess we want it on bottom because we want to be able to top deck. We want to be able to top deck a ramp spell to get our Titan into play. We'll just bottom it. I hit 6 and that also didn't do anything. So I'm trying my hardest to lose this league, guys, but, you know, we'll take our chumps here, I think. Easiest way we lose this is getting tempoed out, so taking as little damage as possible seems to be the priority. Cavern Souls is an interesting one. We can't Titan this turn, so we're going to play Cavern. Notably, doesn't do anything against Subtlety if they have another Hex Catcher here. That wouldn't make sense, actually, because they would have flashed it in for the extra point of damage, I think. We're potentially winning this upcoming turn. We'll take our sneaky chump block, though, just in case. The extra 2 points of damage probably don't matter here. All right, try number 2. Let's see the second Subtlety opponent. I mean that figuratively, because I actually don't want you to have second Subtlety. Just gotta clarify, you know, gotta keep it honest. Is this lethal good? They could have, oh, they do have second Subtlety. Okay, well, this one's definitely going on top. Not attacking with Grazer. Dismember, okay. Interesting. Mead Vault, and they put us to 7, I think. Take 7, we go to 5, and then they're still just dead. I guess they could have Dismember, putting them to 12, and then they're getting, and then we win the match. Cool. Okay. I was going to say they could dismember our Titan when we go for the haste double strike kill, but they didn't have anything. So we'll just, you know, do the old record chain skis and jump in for match 3. Beating double Subtlety. I got to say, I think that we would have lost that draw if they had top decked actual blue source a turn or even a turn or 2 ago. It would have been a lot different. So I think we only won that because of the fact that they didn't top deck the island. We can put a Beastie Boy down on 1, Generous Ent holding the fort, and I make some Saga constructs and then cast this one. How do you feel about it? We will keep this one. Go ahead, play your turn 1 Ragavan. I will block it. Jun Saga, perhaps? Nothing. I mean, I'm still casting this. Still happening. Could be 4-color control, I guess. I don't know why they would shock Stomping Ground on 1, but maybe they have Bolt and they were anticipating a turn 1 Ragavan from their opponent or something. Interesting. Oh, Living End. Oh, Living End. Oh. So if we draw for turn up to 6 cards and play Bounce and we stay at 6, we would have to wait 2 turns to discard intentionally. Waker. Not feeling like the super most winnable game here. We do have Generous Ent for whatever that's worth. Buys us a turn, right? Suva. Don't want to always yield this. Copy this. Turn after, play Slayers and hope that the Generous Ent holds the fort if they do Living End us. Then what? Don't really know. I don't really know what our plan is here, to be honest, because they'll just instant speed Living End if they have Violent Outburst, and then our Titan won't kill them. I mean, I feel like Vesuving Urza Saga is definitely part of the plan here, so. And then we'll cycle Generous Ent at our leisure. He's helping us out. He's holding fort. Invaluable job right here, Mr. Grazer. Very well done. So far, haven't really gotten to see the power of Ent. Maybe it's more of a sideboard card, because we faced a couple matchups where it didn't matter. But that said, it's never been actively bad. It's basically just like an extra land. Maybe we're playing too many lands for this list. We have 32. I would usually be playing about 34. So this is effectively like close-ish to like 35, 36 lands, depending on how much of a land you count Generous Ent. So maybe we need to be trimming another land for this list. Appreciate our opponent's mana base here. Oh, I guess the all access pass is probably in effect, yeah. I wouldn't know because this is the only deck I play, so. Oh, they can't respond to this before the Ent is in the graveyard, so this is safe to do. We'll get a Forest to not show them the tech. Don't want them to be expecting a Spell Pierce from the sideboard, though it is in their future. Is there a point in making the construct? I mean, I guess. I almost yielded through the turn there. That would have been bad. Just out of instinct, but we'll get Amulet, play our Slayers here, and then pass it back, and have Titan this upcoming turn. Post sideboard, this matchup does get better. Riverwinder, so they're not going for the Living End immediately. They might Shard the Agent on their turn, I suppose, or they might hold up Violent Outburst once again. Probably land cycling here. Guaranteed 4th land drop. No, Architect's Will. That was not expected. We'll just deal through the turn here. Not really doing anything. Treat Wraith. Miss 4th land. Miss 4th land. Miss 4th. Oh, grief. Actually, that's actively good for us here, isn't it? Because now if they ever Living End, we just put Titan into play. And we can transmute T-West and get some other things going. So now if they Living End us, we just get to put Titan into play. Okay. Ah, yes. Academy Ruins. Perfect. That's exactly what we needed. No point in making a construct because they're clearly going to living end us here. Hopefully it will not be lethal. And in the hopes that it's not lethal, I'm getting an amulet out of trust and hope. Play forced and pass back to them and just see what the heck is going to happen. We could get like Boros Garrison. Do we even swing? Yes, we swing. Why not? We can get Boros Garrison Sunhome potentially, so our Titan survives the blockers phase or something. They go to 8. Very Valcut ready if we were ever to get there. A Violent Outburst on Instep. We will see how lethal this is. We do have a Generosent, a Primeval Titan, and the food token for +3 life, for whatever that's worth. We'll do some math here once we actually see their board, because I'm lazy. I want to see what goes into play so I can count it. Let's put the Titan trigger on the stack first. All right, so this, they're not going to get +1. So this is 7, plus the 5 is 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25. So this is lethal. Let's say we block the 7, 7 and the 5, 5 and double strike. We take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, which is exactly lethal. So we have to block 7, 7 and this 5. We double strike the Titan here. It still doesn't die. We take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. How is that still lethal? Wait, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh no, but we have the food token. But can we activate it though? We can with the mana we're about to get. So I think that's going to be the play. All right, so hit 5 here to make sure we're not yielded. We'll get Boros Garrison Sunhome. We'll crack our clue, and then we'll block the 2 biggest creatures and hope our opponent doesn't have, I guess, second Violent Outburst. A +3 life and Generous Int coming in handy, huh? And I guess we pick up Avernon Beast. See that being the most useless land. Okay, do not Violent Outburst, or have Brazen Borrower, or like anything. Just whatever it is you're going to don't do it. Don't tap the Titan. Don't bounce anything. Don't cast Violent Outburst. Just don't. We have to block the 5 to keep our Titan for post-combat damage. So we're going to block like this. And that should be fine. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, so this should be good, right? Double strike that one. Violent Outburst still fills up. Generosent putting in work. Generosent putting in actual work. Game 1 against Living End. How about that? Okay. Dude, we're at exactly 3, too. That's so funny. Are they going to Living End us here? Give us a Grazer and a Generosent versus their Generosent? I guess they have to, huh? Interesting. And now they're the active player, so their triggers go on the stack first. Interesting. Okay, what do we do here? I guess Cavern Naming Giant? It probably doesn't matter. Just put Cavern into play. Wait. We want to crack our food here at instant speed. Our feud. Very important. Whose Generosent will win? The one with double strike or the one without? That's the question. That is the question. The fact that we have a chance this game is wild. Actually wild. They still have to block here, and they have to have a 3rd Living End. Is there anything else we can do? Microsynth doesn't do anything. We attack, they block here, we chump, we attack again. I mean, I feel like maybe putting the Shardless in their graveyard is actively bad, just in case they have exactly 2nd Shardless. Don't know if they have Violent Outburst during our next turn after we attack the 2nd time. Can we kill them? I don't know. It depends on if we draw a Dryad Pact or like Valcut or something. It would have to be Dryad or Pact, I'm assuming. Or like another Titan or something. I don't know. We attack and double strike. I guess they could potentially just have nothing and have like 6 drops they can't cast, in which case attacking here is probably better. Or, hold on. So we attack, they chump. They attack, they bounce this. We still go to 1 and we're still fine. I think it's probably good. I guess we could also haste an attack, but that's not as good because it doesn't force the block. I mean, maybe they don't block. I think we're supposed to double strike and attack, to be honest. Could be wrong here. Oh, wait. Almost didn't play land. Probably still just Mycosynth. They block. No surprises there. Probably just Mycosynth. Give us more mana this upcoming turn. I guess that means that Titan probably is lethal. No, not. I guess we'd have to Titan pre-combat. I don't know. This would be a great Colossus situation, I will say. Chump. I will chump. Tap land. 2 cards in hand. Probably Violent Outburst is what I'm sensing. I think otherwise they would have cast something or cycled some things. Just land pass has to be Violent Outburst, which is not great news. How are we beating Violent Outburst? I mean, if they upkeep a Violent Outburst, then okay, they didn't. We attack with Int, we double strike it, they block, their Int dies, they don't have to do anything. We just play land and pass and they outburst and then kill us, probably. I don't think we can beat Outburst here, so I think we're supposed to just attack, force the block. I still think we just don't have anything we can actually do here. The Cavern Naming Dryad, I guess. Oh, playing land drop here first is actually real bad. It's alright. If they have Valiant Outburst, we can't beat that anyways, I don't think. Because there's no way to get a Dryad and also have Valcut in play. I guess we could get Valcut TOS and have played Bounce Land, transmute for Dryad, then we still don't have enough triggers. I don't know. Yeah, so we'll see if they want to block. Of course they want to block. So I guess we just haste it. It's exactly 7. Double striking is better, I guess, so that it guaranteedly kills the Int if they have... It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We'll just haste it. We have to kill it there because They will need a blocker this upcoming turn if they just Stone Cold have nothing, but if they have Outburst here, we're just dead, which is sad. We gotta let them show us the Living End at least. Could have Living End in hand or something and only be playing a few. Oh, I guess we can look at the deck, huh? They have Force, Griefs, not much else to note. Cool. Almost won that game, which is actually super cool, considering I feel like if we were playing a list that didn't have Int, we probably were 0% to win that game. And now we get to bring in the tech. We get Endurance, get Spell Pierce. We can swap those Sagas for Gardens, which I think is probably going to be a wise decision. See, I like bringing in Beseiju because they could have Leyline of Sanctity, which we would potentially want to Beseiju. O-Stone is kind of cool, actually, as well, since they can Living End and we just blow up the world, which is kind of nice. The One Ring is actually not that great against Living End, I find. What else? We could trim a Summoner's Pact, as it's more likely to lead us to losing to Subtlety. No, but Pact also finds us Endurance at instant speed, so maybe it's important enough. Guess we can trim Caverns. Dude, Academy Ruins plus Oblivion Stone against Living End, huh? Is that a combo, or is that not worth it? Oh, we don't need the map. Well, that's an easy cut, because we don't have Saga in the deck. Run like this. All right. Give me Titan in hand. No Titan in hand, but we do have O-Stone. Turn 2 Amulet into Bounce Land, turn 3 Dryad. Doesn't seem great. It's not the worst. I mean, there's always a downside to mulliganing against Living End, because they have Force in their deck. I guess we can always go turn 3, play Amulet off of the blue mana, then play Growth Chamber into Dryad. We're still getting blown out by Force, but that also plays around Foundation Breaker. What can we draw? I guess we could draw a Grazer and that lets us turn 2 Dryad, and so I guess we're just not winning against Force. Does this hand win otherwise? So we go Amulet into turn 3 Dryad, turn 4 Titan. Still don't think that's good enough, because they'll have Violent Outburst up by then. Kind of feel like we should be mulliganing this. If we draw Titan, we go Valcut, play Amulet, play Growth Chamber. Turn 3, we have 4, 5. We'd have to draw like 2 ramp spells to have Titan on turn 3. And we'd be playing into Force and Subtlety, probably. Man, this hand really sucks in so many ways, but it's also kind of appealing. I feel like I'm going to keep this and get run over. I think I'm going to mulligan it. We could also find a Spell Pierced hand. This is a Spell Pierced hand. Have Titan if we wanted to just go to discard with it. My cards are not sorting the way I want them. We're definitely keeping this. What are we bottoming? Could be the second Spell Pierce, but that's bad against Grief. Could be probably Vesuva, I guess. No, it could just be Dryad. I think it's more important to have Dryad with this hand than it is to have a Titan. We'll draw one, and playing around Grief, I think, is more important than guaranteeing that we have Titan in hand, so we'll keep double Pierce and bank on Dryad letting us ramp a little bit. Street Wraith, and there's the Grief. Lucky for us, no scam card. That's a joke. I don't actually think that Living In plays scam cards, okay? Don't quote me on that. I do take one of the Spell Pierce. Interesting. Interesting. This guarantees us to have Breeding Pool, but then we need to be able to play Dryad, so I guess we're playing Vesuva here, as awkward as it is. We'll get a basic land into play in case they have Blood Moon. An end of turn Generous Int. Speaking of the devil, our opponent has Generous Int of their own. See, it's a Generous Int format, guys. If you're not playing Generous Int, then you're not understanding what the point of Modern is right now. Tapped Stomping Ground. I like that. Let's Int here and get basic Forest. Again, to continue to play around possibility of a Blood Moon Amulet. That one's interesting. Either way, we're getting got by Subtlety into Living End if we play Dryad this turn. Like, we could go Amulet, Bounce Land, Dryad. If it doesn't get countered, play Forest and hold up Spell Pierce. But then they could also stop us from having Spell Pierce up if they kill our Dryad regardless. So I think the safest play is to just, like, play Gruul Turf. Probably picking up... I mean, it sucks to pick up Talari West here, though. Maybe it's just Forest Amulet? Maybe Forest Amulet's the best play. I like Forest Amulet, actually. That way we don't have to make this decision about basic lands right now. If our opponent does have Blood Moon... I guess we have Blood Moon covered with Spell Pierce, but I mean, we could even potentially just let Blood Moon resolve, but this gives us the most options, I think. Misty Rain Forest. If our opponent has Violent Outburst, then our Spell Pierce gets got by Force of Negation. I would have to have Violent Outburst, Force Negation, and blue card in hand, which is not that hard. Opponent's just passing it back. They thought and contemplated and passed. I don't know what to make of that. Probably am just slamming Dryad. Simic is pretty interesting here. Alright, we'll just play this. We'll slam a Dryad and see what happens. I haven't learned my lesson, by the way. I'm yielding to a single Amulet once again, as I am known to do. Play Dryad. I guess maybe we just copy basic Force this time, since the Dryad will fix for blue anyways. I guess that's really bad against Force specifically. I'm probably still copying basic Island, I think. I don't know though. Subtlety. Pitching Force and Negation. Bold. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're okay with this. I'm very glad they're subtletying this instead of just waiting and hard casting it. What are we doing with this? Are we topping it or I guess we could just cast a Titan if we were to draw it, but honestly, I think I'm okay with Dryad still. If they feel it's important enough to subtlety, I'll just put it back on top, to be honest, because we're playing the slow waiting game. Although, I guess in one more turn they can play around Pierce, so maybe giving them the extra time is not great, but we can also transmute Talari West for Summoner's Pact and hold up instant speed Endurance as well, so that's something worth thinking about. Very complex game here, despite how few actual cards we have had. Foundation Breaker, hard cast. Okay, they're doing it the hard way. I respect it. Dryad. We'll go Vesuva, copy, island, Dryad, bounce land, pick up Vesuva. Ooh, we kind of actually... Oh, yeah. No, that's all right. We can still play this as bounce land next turn and pick up TOS if they have living end. We will spell pierce it just because we'll get our pierce taken by grief anyways if they do living end us here, but Oliphant. Okay, so no living in this particular turn, most likely, unless they want to just get spell pierced. And then from this turn on, we'll have instant speed, endurance up as well. I will block. I will block you. Titan, A. We could cast that with spell pierce backup. Double Valakut does not kill them. We could get Bog Valakut. I really hope I was smart enough, i.e. not dumb enough to forget the Bog. No, the Bog is still in the sideboard. What am I doing? Okay, because Bog Valakut would have been very good here. Do we still play the Titan anyways? Interesting. Well, I mean, we're playing this as a Growth Chamber regardless. So let's do that. Could just transmute and hold up Pack. Slam Titan with Pierce backup. Titan with Pierce backup has to be good, right? Dude, it would be game ending if we had the stupid Bog in deck, but I forgot to bring it in. That's interesting. I think we have to go for the Titan here. Yeah, this is the right way, because that way they can't force our Dryad and then just kill us. But what are we getting here instead then? Interesting question. I guess we're getting Valakut for sure, and maybe like a bounce land, because we have TOS regardless, so we're gonna want bounce land in hand, I think. We'll do this. Pick up the Vesuva. I think we actively don't want to kill their Foundation Breaker, to be honest, because they have to living in to get out of this. So just leave the Foundation Breaker in play. I think it's unlikely to matter. Are we attacking now? I think so. They block. Oh, well, maybe for that reason attacking was bad, but that's all right. I have to have exactly 2 living in cards in hand, and one of them has to be Outburst right now. Okay. I guess they can just play around Spell Pierce this upcoming turn. I don't know if we have lethal then. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can get a Titan into play. I guess if we draw a bounce land, we can play Vesuva copy Valakut and then play bounce land or any land here. No, it's not any land. Guess going for Summoner's Pact would have been better. We do have to Spell Pierce here just because it will get taken from us otherwise. Or we just needed to have Bajuka Bog in the deck like I was supposed to. Land blindness. Well, if we block the 2 biggest ones, it would be 6 and 5. We take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We're actually not dead here if we transmute for Titan and play it. Plus we have the food token for life gain, so Generous Int still doing work. This is Summoner's Pact. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We pack for Titan, play it, leaving 3. Doesn't do anything. Pack for Dryad, play 1, 2, 3. We attack, they chump block. Doesn't really work. I guess we're just putting Titan into play this turn. Definitely casting Pact, that's for sure. It is just Titan, I think. Dryad to kill, like, Subtlety and Grief and Subtlety, Grief, and something else. Potentially buys us turns. This... Oh, wait, we can't block the Street Wraith if we do that, but maybe that's fine. We kill Subtlety, Grief, and Charlotte's Agent. Then we go block Foundation Breaker, take 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That doesn't give us an extra turn. It's probably just Titan then. We can transmute this turn as well, but that plays into a Grief. So maybe we don't want to do that. Plays into Grief, but it plays around Force of Negation. They exile a Grief. No, they don't. We haven't seen a... Oh, we have seen a force. We've seen exactly one of both. Interesting. Well, we probably still get Valakut bounce land here, I think. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Then we'll float and pick this up and then decide if we want to transmute. I think transmuting... I guess if we Dryad copy Valakut, that doesn't actually kill them though, because that's 1 trigger short. I guess we're it doesn't actually play around force because we don't want to cast the pact immediately anyways. Next turn we pay 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're easily able to get Dryad into play. I guess we're just passing. Are we playing Vesuva here? I don't think so. I guess we could food token though. All right, pass it back. We need this Vesuva in hand in case we don't top deck a land. Not attacking with Generous Int, that's for sure. If we only had 3 mana up, it costs 6 to transmute and then pack for Dryad and cast Dryad, so we didn't have enough. No, we'd search for the Valakut off of the Titan trigger. Street Wraith is fine, I suppose. They have exactly 1 card, and that card has to be able to beat our Dryad. They do have 2 food tokens, which is important to keep track of, but I think if we get to untap here with Titan and Dryad, we're just going to win pretty easily. They could potentially attack. We declare blocks. They living in. Oh, I mean, then we put Titan and Dryad into play. So I think they're kind of... They can't have living in here. That doesn't work. They can have Force or Brazen Borrower on Dryad, which we might be able to play around. Yeah, we can play around Brazen Borrower by playing Vesuva copy Valakut and then having a land. Like, we attack before we do anything with Dryad, get bounce land and something else, and play Vesuva, pack for Dryad, play Vesuva copy Valakut, and actually that does not quite work. Attacking with just these, huh? Interesting. We probably want to block in such a way that they don't get anything extra in their graveyard, or they could have, if they had Violent Outburst, they would just cast it for the +1. Okay, so this is 6 with Trample, so we can we'll cancel. If we block here and then block, we need to not lose our Titan, I guess. So if they have Outburst to just kill our Titan, then we lose. So if we block like this, we're taking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. With Outburst, it's another 4, which is 20, which is still not lethal. So I think this is fine. I think this is fine. Block like this. Okay, let's not lose the game. Endurance. We don't have a fetch land in deck. We could have attack, get bounce land, fetch land. That doesn't work either to play around them bouncing Dryad. So we're basically just on Dryad or bust. So I guess there's no sense in doing anything other than transmuting Talari West and casting Dryad immediately. Get Summoner's Pact for Dryad. I don't think there's anything else we can actually search for that matters here. So we'll just get our Dryad and put it onto the table and just, I guess we just immediately play Vesuva, huh? Subtlety. Hard cast Subtlety. No, we lose to that too. Well, that's GG's, I guess. And they had to cycle the Street Wraith into it as well. Well, that was pretty close, and it was a relatively good game. Very close games tonight, but we march on to match 3. We're playing as Chef Gordon Ramsay. Maybe he can give me some cooking tips. Mycosynth, Amulet, and Bounce Land all in hand at the same time. Okay. Generous Int, just hanging out, doing what he do. We keep this. Oh no, it's a Thoughtseize deck. I can feel it in my bones. Oh, it's worse than a Thoughtseize deck. It's a grief scam. Oh, and Generous Int should shine in this matchup. Hopefully. Take Amulet. Wow, I am so surprised. I wonder if they just take Int here, to be honest. I don't think that's wrong. They're probably considering it right now. They take a Titan instead. Okay, so we'll make your future Blood Moons worse if you have them, opponent. All right, we'll play Mycosynth and pass. Hold up the Generous Int cycle, depending on if we deem that we should use it. Probably should. I don't see us doing anything else with Int this game. We could wait until we hit 6 mana to cast Int and play around them having a discard spell for Titan, I suppose. Is that enough reason to not cycle Int? Kind of doubt it. I think having the untap land is going to be more valuable, especially on the Grief Clock. Summoner's Pact. Okay. That'll probably be a Dryad next turn. At least that's what I'm thinking. Just get clocked. We got scammed, everybody. Oh, that's real good, though. But if we pack for Dryad, we can't play it. So we can play Bounce and pick up Mycosynth, and then play Mycosynth the One Ring this upcoming turn. If we get discarded, then we can pack for Dryad instead, and we're still not quite dead. So this is probably the play. Sadly, it does not play around Blood Moon. If they Blood Moon us here, then we'll be one short of casting the ring, but we might still have a little time. Basic Mountain. See if they have a hard cast Grief, or they're still just passing. Probably dead removal spells in hand, I would assume. Ooh, Generous Int. Kind of nice, actually. Still playing Mycosynth in case we were to top deck a Amulet. One Ring, by the way, this is one of the things that One Ring does for Amulet, is it gives us a card for situations like this, particularly against Scam, where it's important to have access to, something easy to cast through Blood Moon, something that gains us some card advantage back, buys us a little bit of time. This is what we want to be doing. So, also glad our opponent didn't have, like, Bowmasters or something. Just draw immediately because of Bowmasters. Another One Ring is welcome enough. This will just literally buy us time to get to Titan. And our opponent will not have the window to Thoughtseize us to get rid of our Titan either. That's cool, I guess. We have to be wary of our life total. That's for sure. I guess we do draw. Although I guess that played into Bowmasters. If we knew we were playing One Ring, probably drawing immediately is not great, but that's alright. Play the One Ring, make our opponent Mountain Doom us. Or they wouldn't. And that's fine also. I don't even think we use the ring here because we just don't want to lose the life, I think. Rather not chance dying to Lightning Bolt or something. And we'll play... we have 2 untapped sources, so I guess we'll just make land progress towards Dryad. Is there a chance that we want to try to find Grazer here? I don't think so. Although we are going to be taking 4 from Grief. So maybe drawing to try to find Grazer or Amulet there would have been better, but I guess we can still do it on their instep. Because we're not going to have 2 things to block Grief, so we might be dying to Bolt regardless. If we tap this and go to 5, then we just have to hope they don't have Bolt, I guess. I think it's better to just not use it. Hey, we would have found the Grazer, I suppose. We have 5, Grazer down to 4, bounce land up to 5. Can't quite get there. We can One Ring to find an Amulet potentially. Could also pack and play Grazer, like pack for Dryad or something. That loses to removal spell plus Bolt, I suppose. I'm just going to slam the Titan, get it in play. This was the plan the whole time. They have Terminate or Shieldred's Edict. They do have Terminate. Okay. Luckily, that doesn't really matter. So we'll just get Valcut, I suppose, to try to present lethal and still be able to potentially play Grazer and or Generous Int. Definitely not tapping Ring. Do not Bolt us, opponent. You don't want to do it. You don't want to have it. You don't want to dash a Ragavan. You just want to a Thoughtseize that takes our pack, which is annoying, but dealable. Generous Int looking great as an extra threat here. Imagine if this was a land or something irrelevant. Double block this one. Still not using the ring. Dryad probably just kills them. No such luck. Okay, well, let's play Grazer. Put in, I guess, Sanctuary, so we have haste mana up. Pick up Forest. Play our big dude. Generous Int. We can even hold up food token here, so that way we're not dead to an individual removal spell. Play Forest, hold up the food token, and just pass it back. Not dead to bolt here anymore. Let's see, I guess we need to crack this now, since they could bolt us in response. We're going to have to crack it if they do have the removal spell. I guess we can wait until they show us a removal spell to crack it. I don't really think there's a point in not cracking it immediately, though, so we'll just crack it. Dude, we're living by the skin of our teeth here, and the choice to not activate the One Ring. Very controversial choice of just making it 4-mana fog, but it's worked out so far. Generous Ent looking great right now, gotta say. See if they have... Nope, they're just attacking. I mean, we'll double block. They could just scam it back, I guess, but that's fine. It's not like we can choose anything else. Now that they're doing this, I might go ahead and tap the ring and accept dying to bolt, because depending on what they do here, we might have no choice. They kill the Grazer here and pass it back, I guess. Yeah, they feign death. All right, I think it might be time to stop playing around Bolt. Steal until instep, because obviously we don't want them to grief away whatever it is that we would draw if it's a non-creature, or non-land, I mean. And then on instep, we'll activate the One Ring. We can always microsynth copy the One Ring as well to make sure we're not losing too much life. Unfortunately, we can't respond to the upkeep trigger by copying and then not lose life. It just doesn't work that way, because it will remember that it had however many counters on it and Mountain Doom us. We might just die to this Mountain Doom. That would be pretty hilarious, to be honest, and fitting Titan or Dryad or like anything. All right, let's lose our one. We're not yet dead to Mount Doom. We're pretty close to it. There's Dryad. Okay, so now opponent is dead. Yeah, there's no reason to do anything different here. So play Sunhome, send a bunch of these upstairs. Always yes, always yes, always yield. Send a couple more upstairs, and then double strike Generous Ent, and our opponent's super dead. Generous Ent holding the fort and then attacking for lethal. How about that? How about that? Hey! Hey! Alright, so we want the One Ring, obviously. It basically was the thing that won us that game. Oblivion Stone is interesting. I don't hate it. Dismember is great against the scam stuff. Spell Pierce is bad against discard spells, for sure. All of these lands, and maybe not Bojuka Bog, but these 3 lands can come in instead of Saga, since we have Int to play around Blood Moon, and we don't want to just get Stone Rained by Blood Moon for no reason. Previously, I used to keep in the Sagas in this matchup, but I don't think it's necessary with the One Ring and Generous Ent in the deck, but I could be wrong. We're porting those out, we cut the map. Could maybe trim a Cavern, since we do have Ints for lands as well. Kind of interested in Endurance. Endurance only stops scam if they don't, like, take the Endurance, or if we have exactly 2. But Endurance does let us potentially flash in to block a Ragavan or something. I think I'm good without it. Do we want the O-Stone? I really don't hate O-Stone. We can just play it on 3 and then blow up the world on 5. It's a little slow, but it's not the worst. Trim Summoner's Pact, perhaps? Summoner's Pact is good against discard, though, and we don't care as much about Blood Moon. I think I'd rather just not play the O-Stone, run it back. Dude, we can use Academy Runes to rebuy our One Ring in this matchup, which is pretty sweet, if you do ask me. This hand's fantastic, so we'll snap this one off. Keepiest keep I've ever keep against this matchup, gotta say. Grazer in land, play land, cycle Generous Ent for second force to play around Blood Moon, and we have Boseiju anyways to cover Blood Moon, but if they had Magus of the Moon, Generous Ent gives us our second force to play around Magus. Whew. Beautiful hand. Chef's kiss. There goes Generous Ent. They had the fear. I'm assuming probably Magus here, to be honest. Definitely not putting this Boseiju into play if we can avoid it. We will probably end up playing it next turn, though, so passing it back. If they play Douthie Voidwalker, do we even bother dismembering it? It's an interesting question we'll have to answer if they have it, because holding the second dismember and then it getting griefed away and them having Magus is not the best for us now that we don't have access to Generous Ent. They take the Dryad, that makes sense. I don't know. It's cool to see the pathway lands in this deck. That's something you see super often. I think we do just have to play Boseiju now as well. We have Ints to play around Blood Moon, and at this point we could even Summoner's Pact for Generous Ent and then cycle it and immediately play our Forest and be playing around playing around Blood Moon or Magus, so pretty safe to do this. We have 3 Forests, 2 Boseijus, 3 Ints, 4 Summoner's Pacts is out in that case, so feel pretty comfortable doing this, especially if our opponent's just going to be missing lands. Do we haste our Dryad for value or hold up Dismember? I feel like Dismember is going to be better, especially if they have like end of turn push into untap land Ragavan. That could be one way that we potentially end up losing. Castle Lochthwain with the pathway land not looking its sharpest, I must say. Bounce land, Valket. I will take that. We'll take that one. And making the same plays last turn, mostly because there's just no reason to get the extra 2 points. We're already way ahead, so try to keep our lead. Now the One Ring is alive top deck as well. Also, I didn't include that, but the One Ring is a potential out if our opponent were to have Magus or Blood Moon or something. No red mana. Dalvy, okay. Probably still okay with this. We're winning this race by far. Probably just keeping double Dismember in hand. Also, dismembering this potentially plays into them having a Undying spell, so not super worried about it. Not playing second Dryad, I don't think. Rather hold up double Dismember. Still attacking, though. I don't know if they can block with Dalthy, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think Dalthy can block. Can block or be blocked by creatures with shadow, so it can't block Dryad. Something worth noting. Blackleaf Cliffs. The perfect red land, am I right? Okay, little grief here, and we'll just let the grief... Oh, wait, if we let the grief resolve, then they get to Dalthy away our... They get to Dalthy into play a Titan? We have to dismember Dalthy here, I think. We'll go black and 1 dismember Dalphy, taking 2. Okay. Okay. I guess we just let this go, and if they want to scam Grief, then they got us. But like, yeah. If they didn't have it, then keeping the dismember is better. So I think this worked out. Now we only have 1 dismember, so just using Slayers here. Oh, actually that one's way better than doing anything else. This is why we play the One Ring in this deck, people. This is the reason you're viewing it. You're seeing it. We're gonna activate now in case they have Bowmasters. Ugh. Legendary. Gross. Alright, well, we'll just do this. And I think at this point, I'm just not going to attack. Again, to play around push into untap Ragavan. It's like the only reason. We're easily winning this game at this point, so don't want to try to make ourselves lose to anything here. Lock Thwain. You got it. Taking 3 damage just like that, huh? Kind of wild. Draw some more cards. Our opponent might just be dead to Valcat triggers. Oh, they're dead. They're quite dead. See, 3. They're not quite dead, actually. We play this. We get land, haste, new Dryad. Yeah, they're dead. We'll go like this. Play Dryad, play Simic, Valcut them, and always, yes, always yield. We'll pick up Forest, and then haste the new Dryad, and they will be dead. Oh, I guess we don't even have to haste the new Dryad, but we will because value. Bang. Swing 6. All right. Well, that means we are now 2-2. Thanks to the One Ring against Scam. One of the main reasons why I'm playing the One Ring in the first place, by the way. Although they do have Orcish Bowmasters, but in the Amulet matchup, Bowmasters tends to not be very good outside of specifically us having Ring. And even then, I feel like we could use our extra cards better than they can play around that with the Bowmasters. So I haven't played a whole lot against Bowmasters with the Ring, but definitely the Ring is improving our Scam matchup by a lot. And the Generous Int seems pretty good there too, to be honest. So definitely lots of moving parts, but getting there because of our card choices. So we lost to Living In due to not boarding in Bajuka Bog, and then we lost to our round 1 opponent because I activated the One Ring, knowing there was a very minuscule chance. Actually, maybe I'll just go calculate it right now real quick, to be honest, like what the chance was. Oh, I don't know how many cards we had in deck, though. I think it was like 37 or something. I'll correct this in the editing if this is not correct, but let me pull this over here. So we had, I'm going to say 37 cards in deck. We knew that 2 of them, we knew that there was 1 Sunhome that we couldn't draw, and we were drawing 2 cards. The possibility of that happening, us drawing the Sunhome, was about 5%. 5% chance we would draw the Sunhome, and we did. That is insane. All right, we got a double Saga hand, so this is a turn 4 Titan kind of dealio. Interesting. We go land, turn 3 Ring, turn 4 Titan with double Amulet. I mean, I'm keeping that every day. The commands, unfortunately, are not working. I'm going to have to try to sort out why that is the case, but you can see the deck list in the description of the live stream or video if you're watching here on YouTube. Yeah, definitely still leading on Saga. Our opponent has Watery Grave tap. Might want to pivot and not play the second Saga so early if our opponent happens to be playing the blue-black control list. Very possible, and it looks like that might be the case. We could play Academy Ruins and make our opponent think we're doing something that we're definitely not. They'll think we're on, like, some weird blue artifact deck and just not making any plays, I guess. Dude, Academy Ruins One Ring might be sick against them, too. Just pass the turn here. Playing the One Ring into Counter Magic doesn't feel that bad. Ooh, another Amulet, huh? Well, what do we use as the bait spell here? We can play Sanctuary into One Ring. We could play Amulet, let it get countered, because they'll probably counter it, then play Sanctuary, pick up Academy Ruins, play Dryad into Saga. That seems way better. That just seems way better. Let's play Amulet. Would you like to counter this one, opponent? Will this... No countering, huh? 0 countering. So now we play Bounce Land. If we play Dryad, we can't play second... we couldn't, like... Oh, we don't have a second Dryad to play anyways. What am I saying? We could just play Saga here and pass. Really not the worst. Getting the counterspell out of their hand seems kind of attractive to me, though. Like, Sanctuary, float 4 mana, 5 with Academy Ruins, play Dryad, and if it resolves, we could just play Bounce Land, Ring, and then next turn, we'll have Titan anyways. I think we're gonna like our sequencing better by going for Bounce Land here. Got the Academy Ruins here, play Dryad. Our opponent was definitely not expecting Amulet after seeing Academy Ruins. That's for sure. Actually, now I think about it, oh, we wouldn't have blue. Maybe playing Ring first, letting them counter it, and then hoping Dryad survives so we can Ruins Ring back would be a plan, but I don't know, it seems kind of a long shot. We might have found our Mindslaver matchup. Our opponent's thinking long and hard about whether they're countering this Dryad or not. Subtlety. Pitching Subtlety. I'll take that. That's a win. Absolute win. You know where that bad boy's going? Right on top. Right on top. Dang, that's like the hardest card for us to play around. And they just used it on our Dryad, Auron's Ransom. Gosh, I don't know how to split these yet. So they're going to see the top pile. So we can either show them Force Negation that they'll probably think is useless, another Ransom, which we can force them to not cast, or 2 unknowns. Let's see. but neither of these cards is actually super useful against us. I guess the Lorien Revealed is another land, potentially. They might take the ransom anyways. I guess the Force is good against our One Ring, but they don't necessarily know that. Although maybe they can infer it from seeing Academy runes. You could also split the piles like this, so that either way, they're only getting one of the two good cards. They can either take a guarantee. They're probably going to bin the Force Negation pile if we do this, unless they really need the land drop. Do this, they get land drop, then we force them not to be able to ransom because we play a Titan, and what? Force Bowmasters both are good against our ring, so if they take this pile, then our Titan overpowers the extra cards. But if they take this pile, then our ring is good. So I kind of like this split, to be honest. Could be wrong. See what they choose here. By the way, this is a perfect time while our opponent's deciding to remind you that if you are not already subscribed to the channel, then go ahead and leave a subscribe. We appreciate that here. And obviously, the only reason I even play this deck is because I want to be able to help others learn to play it. And that's just the way of it. They play the One Ring. Sure. Oh, you think that we can't kill you, opponent, just because you have a One Ring? And draw. I guess they could have, like, Murderous Cut, Dryad. We can go Bounce Land, Dryad, Bounce Land, Titan. We could get two Titans into play this turn, which is... And we're going to attack with both of them because value, but it's not going to do any damage to them. I guess they could have Subtlety. They could have Subtlety. I mean, I'm not playing around third Subtlety, so... I mean, we're setting up a lot of stuff here. And we can safely get Valcut because it is a May. We are not forced to... kill anything. Even if we do, sorry, I'm getting distracted. We're not forced to kill anything, even if we do target, because we can choose no for the ability. So here we'll get Valakut and Bounce Land, probably Simic, I suppose. We'll play our second Titan, haste both just to get the lands. They could have Damnation, I suppose. We might be able to set up, I mean, we're going to have One Ring anyways, even if they have Damnation, but pick up the Valakut, I suppose. We could also set up Telarius potentially, depending on how things work out here. Definitely getting Garrison Slayers. TOS Bounce Land, and then any other two lands and still play the One Ring second main. Keep expecting it to be on the right side. It's getting me every time. All right, so we want T-West. Seiju doesn't do much, so probably T-West another Valcut, or maybe even just double T-West, to be honest. I don't see how anything goes wrong with double T-West. Could be T-West, Saga, Bounce Land, Saga, perhaps? Like double Saga, T-West, Bounce Land. I don't hate that. Yes, I have been testing Generosent. I think it's pretty good so far, to be honest. A Cavern to play through Counter Magic seems interesting, because they'll have to deal with both Titans. So making sure, well, Cavern doesn't actually matter though, because they'll have to tap out for the Titans, and it doesn't play around Subtlety anyway, so I guess Cavern's kind of a useless pickup. Could get Mycosynth here, but I don't love it. I think it's just, we can make them have to deal with the Dryad and both Titans by getting second Valcut, so I guess it's TOS Valcut, like Saga Bounce Land or something like that. But yes to this. The Bounce Land for sure. Could just be another T-West in case we need to be able to like Titan and play Slayer Stronghold and attack. Honestly, I don't really care. I'm just gonna get, we could get Vesuva copy Valcut so we can transmute for Dryad, play land. I mean, we're gonna have a lot of cards from the ring too. Transmute for Dryad, play Dryad, Slayers, land, or Dryad, land. I guess Vesuva's probably better here just to make a casted Dryad lethal. And again, not to worry about these Valcut triggers. We will hit 5 to make sure they're not already auto-yielded somehow. And we're gonna save targets at this Primeval Titan. We're gonna always yield. And then after they are off the stack, we'll clear all the yields. And I guess we just pick up Telari West here. And then we'll slam our One Ring and I guess draw a card because we can and pass. Oh, Summoner's Pact is a great one to have too. All right, let's see if our opponent's One Ring is good enough to beat this board state plus hand. We will see. We will see. Yeah, they did not have a chance. Okay, very strong game 1 showing. We want the One Ring probably. I mean, they have Bowmasters and maybe Shieldred, but I mean, it's a control deck. The One Ring is just going to be good. And Mindslaver, very slow, but you can't convince me not to bring it in. I like Endurance because they probably have like Murktides or something that cares about their graveyard for them to be playing Lorien Revealed. I mean, it is just a good control card. Spell Pierce is good in general, but it's not good against specifically Subtlety, which I am worried about. I'll tank on that one for a second. We'll take Bajuka Bog. We'll take Mycosynth. Seiju probably not doing anything. Cavern's very good. They could have Chalice, I guess. I could see them sideboarding Chalice, so we'll bring in the Beseiju from a basic forest, I guess. Saga's very good. 35 lands is kind of a lot. Could trim another forest. Trim one Summoner's Pact to play around Chalice. We have a lot of cards. I guess we don't need these Grazers. All the Generosents seem good. Actually, because we have Generosent and Endurance in addition to Titan, I think we could probably just trim a pack. That said, we really need Titan specifically to beat our opponent having a One Ring. Maybe it's fine though. Also, they play the ring, so we definitely want Spell Pierce because it hits Sauron's Ransom and Ring and some other things. Counterspell. And maybe not all 4 though, maybe just 3, in which case we can trim, I guess just another forest. I'm not trying to play Grazer on 1. We can trim, I feel like it should be lands, but I don't really see any lands that I want to cut. Academy Ruins seems good. No sagas mean... Oh, no, we have sagas. But Expedition Map is probably good then. 3 cards. What are they supposed to be? I feel like maybe Generous Ent is not that great, especially since we only have 3 targets, so trimming a Generous Ent makes sense, but having a couple, just to make sure we're hitting land drops and have extra threats in late game seems alright. I don't know what else to cut. Maybe 2 Besejus is fine against a potential Chalice, especially since we're trimming so heavily on Pact. Actually, since we're cutting so heavily on packs, we'll just go with 1 Beseju. Call it a day. Okay. This hand's quite slow. We get to play Slayers, Generous Ent for Forest, play Bounce Land, then play turn 3 Endurance, turn 4 Ring. Not the worst. It's not particularly fast. I don't know how fast. I've never played this matchup before, so I don't know how fast we need to be. Because they could potentially have like Murktide or something, but I'm going to go on faith that this is like a normal control matchup, and I'm just going to keep this. Especially since we could transmute for Cavern, although that doesn't really matter against Subtlety, I suppose. Thoughtseize, the classic ruiner of all hands regardless. So against Thoughtseize, mulliganing to try to find a faster hand wouldn't have been good, so that's another argument for keeping this, so I'm glad we did. Wonder what they take. Probably the 1 ring, I would assume. I don't actually know for sure, though. The more we get away from Explore, the slower of a game plan we get. I mean, most of the times after I resolve the 1 ring, I'm winning the turn after, so... At least that's what it feels like. I don't know. Yep, blue-black ring control. But I don't know if I should be expecting Murktide region or not. Because I've seen some blue-black lists that play Murktide and some that don't. But maybe the control lists that play like Sauron's Ransom and Lorien Revealed don't play Murktide. I'm not entirely sure. They're probably playing Murktide, so I don't think we can play too slow a game. But we do have Endurance to play around Murktide as well, so not the worst possible thing. We'll play Slayers and Path. Basic Island. Are we going to get Mages of the Moon? Thoughtseize. Okay, well, we'll just go to Instep. I assume they're taking Endurance here. Good old double Thoughtseize, huh? No, they take Titan. Okay, interesting. Well, let's just go Forest Cycling and try to set up this Endurance. Guess we can get Breeding Pool to enable our Talari West. I don't mind the extra little life points there. Play this, pass it to our opponent, set up for Endurance next turn. Try to cut off this Murktide that I keep talking about. Lorien Revealed, getting a Watery Grave. See, these particular land cyclers are kind of all over Modern at the moment. And it's just because they're really good. A 1-mana land cycler that is otherwise an action spell is just nice, you know? Because when it needs to be a land, you can make it a land, but when a land isn't what you want, you know, you get something else. Honestly, I could see Lorien Revealed being good and Amulet in a weird sort of way. Hold on a sec. Before I do this, I need actually to set a stop on my turn for Instep, just so I can Endurance them here. Although, them having Subtlety makes it a little more interesting. I think we have to show them the Subtlety so they don't take the 1 ring. We can't really beat these cards regardless. Definitely can't beat the 1 ring at the moment. We're probably showing them Subtlety Dress Down. They might take these. Maybe they take Subtlety Island. Giving them the 1 ring and Dress Down seems really bad, though. We could just... I think it's going to be Subtlety Dress Down versus 2 unknowns. This Sauron's Ransom card seems pretty good. Also, I think there's still a bug where if you play this with white bordered cards, they will see the white bordered card even if it's face down. I don't know if they ever fixed that or not, but yeah, they did take the ones that we showed that were showed to them, which is not surprising. So definitely didn't want them to have the 1 ring here. I don't think we could beat that. So enticing them not to take it, probably a good option. I mean, I still don't know that we can beat Subtlety and Dress Down, but we'll try. Well, if we get a 1 ring of our own, that does pretty easily beat those cards. No, they already had a ring! I didn't consider that. I mean, I guess we are pressuring their life total. Interesting. Okay, so we're just gonna go Amulet, Bounce Land, Transmute Talari West. I mean, the game is still on, but we know they have Subtlety Dress Down. That's going to be a hard one to beat. Still getting Summoner's Pact here. Oh, we could have gotten Academy Ruins. Dude, Academy Ruins actually would have been sick there. Probably should have gotten Academy Ruins. Don't know if they could beat us just getting back the 1 ring and casting it every turn. Summoner's Pact doesn't really do much against their Subtlety or Dress Down, so Academy Runes would actually have been sick here. I guess we could still draw Mindslave, Eon 1. Yeah, Academy Runes would have been so sick. I wish I had thought about that. Dryad. I mean, we'll go Slayers. I guess we're not casting Dryad pre-combat because we can't attack anyways. See if they want to do anything about this Dryad. Remand. Yeah, guess we're passing it back. I mean, they are getting clocked by this Endurance. They do need to deal with it. I mean, the problem is they're just never shields down because we know they have the stupid Subtlety. We know these 2 cards. Getting another 3 fresh ones from the 1 ring. And potentially going to 1 if they do draw with it. Unless they hit another ring. And we know that they don't have one of their rings. Unless it got shuffled in or something. Oh, we Endurance them, yes. So they do have another ring in deck. They have 3 copies. They do draw their 3 cards and find the 1 ring. Okay. I wonder if they have to Subtlety our Dryad here. They're still getting clocked by this Endurance. This Endurance might just be going the distance. Maybe that's wishful thinking, but they're discarding down to 7 here. They're not getting infinite value here. Urza Saga is a good one. We go Saga, Dryad, land, attack with everything. I like that, because we can use Dryad to make red and white and haste Dryad, so I think they have to Subtlety this. Actually, they have to Subtlety this or they're just dead. That's an interesting one. There's the subtlety. Do we pack for another Dryad here on the stack? Packing for Dryad doesn't seem too bad. We might have to tap out for it, though. I think we are, to be honest. I think we're not getting underneath this dress down, so unless we go for another Dryad here, so that's what I'm going to go for. Doing it now so we get this Dryad on top of our deck, which I think will be key. Playing Vesuva Copy Saga here now to generate as many threats as possible, as fast as possible. Another subtlety. Rip. Okay, that's all right. We'll work through it. Yeah, we'll just draw Dryad into Dryad. One of them will get shuffled away with Saga anyways, so put our opponent down to 4 and then down to 3 with the One Ring. Our opponent has 3 cards left. We're somehow still, like, in this game. They've not gotten very good use out of these subtleties, I will say. Just subtletying a bunch of Dryads, not really what they were hoping for with that card. I have land, another One Ring. Yeah, that's okay. Are we playing Dryad into Counterspell here? We could go Shock, Dryad, Vesuva Copy. I feel like we have to do that. I think we just have to keep max pressure. Maybe it was bad. All right, could just have made a Saga Construct, but can't get through points of damage this turn thanks to their One Ring protection. We know they still have Dress Down. Oh, we get to draw the second Dryad because Saga goes on the stack in beginning of main, not beginning of draw. So we actually do get the second Dryad off the top here, which is probably pretty good. Shoulder. Oh gosh. Oh no, that's not great. Do we have map in deck still? If we have map, we can map for Valcut here. They could have Fatal Push or something, but we do have map in deck if not mistaken. I literally pulled this up to look and then closed it for no reason. We have map. They have Dress Down, but Dress Down doesn't stop Dryad Valcut shenanigans. We'll float here. I think we're going for Valcut lethal. Oh my gosh, I forgot this. Oh my gosh, I thought it was going up to, oh, it is going up to 3. Why was I stopped in my draw step? That is so, oh, the shoulder trigger. That's what was on the stack. I was like, what the heck is happening? Okay, that's fine. Hopefully we didn't need the extra mana. I don't think we do. We map, crack for Valcut, play Dryad, play Vesuva, copy Valcut for lethal. That's the line. Assuming that they don't have a counterspell or something. Play the Valcut first, very important. Oh wait, no, but they can Dress Down right now and stop the extra land. I don't know. Yeah, I think we just got buried. I think they had one too many One Rings. Dress Down, okay. Yep, we can't win this one anymore thanks to Shieldred. Shieldred plus extra One Rings. These two pair very well. Okay, we can use Dismember for Shieldred, potentially. Spell Pierce is looking quite good, I will say. Summoner's Pact not looking quite so good. Generous Hint also not really doing much, to be honest, but I mean, it's better than our alternative. Maybe it's better to have second pack than one of the Ints. Just have these as lands that we can cycle later on. Maybe a couple Dismembers for Shieldred is alright. Is that better than Int? I feel like it probably is. We'll go like this. Spell Pierce, no actual land, and 3 Titans in hand. Interesting. Yeah, this is a keep. Probably bottoming Dismember. Probably going turn 2 map for bounce land and leaving Sanctuary in play so we can play turn 3 ring. Assuming nothing goes too awry. Interesting. I don't mind just cracking this map immediately. I don't think it really reveals that much. Get Simic, I guess, so we can pay for a Spell Pierce in the future, potentially. I will say this is a very interesting matchup. Playing against control is like, it's almost like playing a different game, you know? Dryad. That's an interesting one. If we play Dryad, we get got by Subtlety, which we know they play 4 of. Ring gets got by Force, but they probably don't have that many copies of Force. It does get got by Counterspell, but we haven't seen a Counterspell yet either. Is it too early to play a Ring, though? I feel like it's better to just go ahead and play Dryad. That way we can play Ring with Spell Pierce up, and if this gets Subtletied, then that's fine. If they go fetch, I don't know. I was gonna say if they go fetch Fatal Push, then we can Spell Pierce it, but that's actually just factually incorrect. I mean, actually, it's not factually incorrect. They could do that, and we could Spell Pierce it, but it wouldn't accomplish anything considering they would have 2 mana up. Interesting. We'll have Sneaky Spell Pierce up here too. Oof. No, we're not doing that. But we are just gonna go ahead and play out our land drops here, and then we'll go to combat and attack and see what happens. And we'll slam our ring. Actually, now that we don't have to have, now that we have the extra land, we can leave the blue up so that we have Spell Pierce even if our Dryad were to die somehow or get bounced or something. So this is just the right play. Draw immediately, I do suppose. Don't know what for, but potentially we could draw something. Orcish Bowmat, that's fine. I mean, against our double One Ring hand, that is not too bad, but, you know. Interesting that this triggers not on first draw per turn, but any draw outside of our draw step. So even if we were to tap Ring on their turn, they still get Bowmaster triggers. Sending them at Dryad is kind of weird here, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. Oh, we have protection. What am I saying? They don't have any other options, so gotta be careful about using this One Ring, I suppose. But with double Spell Pierce in hand, they probably would have Subtlety Dryad. Oh, hey! Ding, ding, ding! Let's go! Oh, yeah. Look at that. Take that, Swan Song enjoyers. I would like to see a Swan Song do that. All right, let's take our One Ring ping. One ring, more like one ping. And I guess I'm gonna grow their army token and take some more damage. I just don't care. Didn't find the Titan. Very sad times. That is A-okay. They bog, target them. play a Dryad, haste both and swing, haste the new one and swing, you know, so on and so forth. Still hold up Spell Pierce. If we had Titan here, they might just be dead, but, you know, Dryad, we'll go white, red, haste the new one, get in for 6. Guess we can play Bounce Land, pick up Selesnya if we want to. Probably worth it. I don't know what we're playing around, but we're playing around it. I guess we could have cast a second One Ring there if we really wanted to. I'll just take the 5. I'm not super worried about it. Does Shieldred's opponent draws a card trigger get around the One Ring protection? That's an interesting question that we'll never find out the answer to. Hey! Heyo! Okay, let's do this. We'll play Titan and see if our opponent does have the subtlety on. A better way to tap the mana? I don't think so. We'll do this. Okay, they're fetching. Shadow of Doubt. Do we want to Spell Pierce this? Maybe we could draw into another Spell Pierce, but I guess we just let this go. We can still haste Titan and attack with it, so like that's fine, I think. Right? We'll play Sanctuary, another twice more. And this one will float red, haste Titan and attack with everything and just see what happens, I guess. And we win the match. Wow, that was a really, really tight last match to play. But we did manage to end up 3-2 and salvage our record. We managed to make it back, and I will admit, I feel like the matches we lost, the first one, though, was very fun, and I'm not making fun of my opponent's deck in any way, the first match doesn't seem super representative of what's going on in Modern at the current moment, and also, it's obviously a freaking Crack the Earth deck. Not going to be a good matchup for us, so I don't feel bad losing that one. And then the Living End matchup, Living End is always tough, but I literally just forgot to bring in Bog, and I think that would have really changed Game 2, and maybe gave us a shot for Game 3, so I punted away potentially one of those matches. I don't know. This list still feels solid. Like, obviously, we don't really lose anything by playing a bunch of Generous Ints in the main. I do think maybe we could, with this list, trim a land or two. I don't know what it would be, though, because, like, all these lands seem pretty essential. Obviously, we don't need the Academy Ruins. So maybe trimming a land and going up, I don't know, an Azusa, perhaps? Or a Cultivator, whatever your preference would be. My preference would be Azusa, I think, to enable more turn 2 rings. And just because I just hate the card Cultivator Colossus, I'm sorry. Good games, Hit Point. Thank you for joining the stream. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, I think that Generous Int has a lot of potential. We saw the power of Generous Int in the Living In matchup, where just having the extra body and having a guaranteed way to get an untapped green source and having the food can matter, and just against Living In, having one extra blocker actually can matter a little bit. And then against Scam, we saw Generous Int pulling work as an extra creature we could play. We use it to tandem block a Grief, and the life we gained from the Generous Int put us out of bolt range and left us at 3 at the end of the game. all kinds of stuff. So, like, the upside of just having the random 6-mana 5/7 reach, you know, token enabler is actually a very real upside. So, obviously we still play Mindslaver. I'm kidding. So we cut the Mindslaver. I could see either a second Oblivion Stone or a Cultivator Colossus. I think that against the creativity decks, as Oblivion Stone is better than the first Cultivator, just because when your opponent has an Elesh Norn in play, then your Cultivator doesn't do anything, but Oblivion Stone actually just blows up the world against them. And so I think having 2 O-Stones instead of 1 O-Stone, 1 Cultivator is good there, but this is specifically for that matchup. I think it's popular enough to warrant it, perhaps. I don't know, I like this. The idea of playing Mycosynth in the sideboard to replace Saga is not one I've seen anybody else doing, but I actually think it makes a lot of sense, and I'm pretty okay with it. And I also do kind of support the idea of playing one of these rings in the sideboard. I don't know, maybe that's just playing too scared. Because, like, Bowmasters doesn't really matter. I'm really just scared of specifically and only Shieldred. Shieldred makes our One Ring so bad, but we can easily beat Bowmasters. I don't know, maybe there are more decks playing Bowmasters and not as many playing Shieldred, so maybe playing a 4th One Ring main could be fine, but I don't know. I feel like something like this is pretty good. And the fact that it enables us to play Spell Pierce if we play Generous Int and 1 Breeding Pool, it's just so nice. It's just so nice. I already wanted to be playing 4 Spell Pierces for all of our bad matchups, so I would like to squeeze 1 more Endurance in here maybe, but small potatoes. Yeah, I mean, that's what I have to say about the deck. So I guess for the purposes of the video, thank you guys for tuning in. If you're not watching this live, and if you're not watching this live, then hit subscribe so you can know when it is that I'm going live, and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And I'm not going to ask you to do more than that. My goodness, you've already made it to the end of the video already. I'm asking too much. And again, thank you to everybody in chat who happened to show up, anybody who could make it. I didn't advertise that I was streaming at all, so everyone you see in here just kind of showed up just because I was live, which I appreciate greatly. So that's it for the purpose of the video, and catch y'all later.